would have pursued and embarked upon throughout the years in terms of community outreaches, social events, interactions, which led to a reduction in serious crimes today, of which the crime chief will address in his presentation. At this time, before I proceed further, I would like to also mention that two of our deputy commissioners, Mr. Blanham and Karimbach, could not have made it here today. But we'll work according to our program. And our first presentation will be done by no other than the crime chief, Mr. Wendell Blanham, in which he will give you an overview of crime and strategy during the Christmas season.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Deputy Commissioner of Administration, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clifton Hicken, Deputy Commissioners of Police, Regional and Branch Commanders, other senior as well as junior officers, esteemed representatives of the business community, diligent members of the various private security firms, rank station of the Corporate Communications Unit, special invitees, and last, and certainly not least, distinguished members of the media. Let me first take this opportunity to apologize for my regrettable physical absence on today's date for the launching of the Guyana Police Force's Christmas Policing Plan. This is due to the recent and sudden passing of my dear mom. Permit me to also state that as we approach the festive season, the Guyana Police Force reaffirms its commitment to upholding the highest standards of policing as we seek to fulfill our mandate, which is to serve and protect all of our citizens of this great nation. It therefore gives me great pleasure to present to you a crime overview as well as the Force's Christmas Policing Posture for the year 2025. The latter will commence on tomorrow's date, the 15th day of November 2025, and is anticipated to conclude on the 15th of January 2026, all things being equal. The pie chart shows that 24% of the total crimes were committed in Region 4A. In other words, Region 4A has the lion's share of the pie. There are many factors that can be attributed to this state of affairs in Region 4A. For example, this region has a high population density and is widely regarded as a commercial hub of our country. In second and third positions are Regions 3 and 4B respectively, while Regions 8, 5, and 7 all have the smallest percentage distribution of serious crime. This line graph depicts that serious crimes have been declining over a 10-year period. At this juncture of the presentation, we will now progress to the murder rate in Guyana. In total, for this period, 81% of the murder victims were males, whilst 90% of the victims were females. Over the last 5 years, there has been a consistent trend in that disorderly murders have the highest distribution when compared with other categories of murder. Domestic murders doubled for this period when compared with the previous year. That is from 13 in 2024 to 26 in 2025. During the year 2025, the highest percentage of murders were recorded in Region 4A with 21%. This translates to 24 murders being recorded in the said region, while the lowest percentage was recorded in Region 2. We will now turn our attention to robberies. The line graph shows that over a 10-year period, there is a declining trend for all categories of robberies. Robberies with the use of firearm was the most prevalent type of robbery during the year 2025. This was followed by robberies with the use of other instruments and then robberies with aggravation. During the year 2025, similarly to the previous statistics relating to murder, Region 4A has recorded the highest percentage of gun robberies per division. This slide displays the findings of our temporal analysis, which shows that most of the robberies with the use of firearms were perpetrated by criminal elements between the period 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. As a consequence, our resources were deployed optimally during those peak hours, hence the reduction in the occurrence for this year when compared to last year. That is 63 less reported attacks during the peak hours. Breaking into larceny is the most prevalent offense in Guyana. Over a 10-year period, the year 2025 recorded the lowest number of breaking into larceny occurrences. Human trafficking. Guyana continues to hold a Tier 1 ranking in relation to human trafficking. This means Guyana has met the minimum standards for the elimination of human trafficking. This achievement is as a result of continuous collaboration and cooperation with the Guyana Police Force's Anti-Trafficking in Persons Unit, the Ministry of Home Affairs Human Trafficking Task Force, the Countering Human Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of Human Services, the Office of Public Prosecution, and other key stakeholders, particularly as it relates to public awareness campaigns to combat TIP nationwide. For the year 2025, there were 13 reports of human trafficking recorded and 2 cases were made. Investigations are pending in relation to the other 11 reports. We will now turn our attention to cybercrime reports. For the year 2025, there were 241 reported cybercrime offenses, of which 50 cases were made. To date, 12 convictions were secured from these prosecutions. Piracy. There has been no piracy report for years 2021 to 2025. The last piracy report was received in the year 2020, and the 2 perpetrators were convicted in Berbice High Court, and they were sentenced to death in the year 2023. Firearm seizures. Illegal firearms seized. Over the years, the Guyana Police Force continued with its intelligence-led operations in order to combat firearm-related matters by aggressively pursuing and interdicting illegal networks that supply guns to criminals. During the year 2025, a total of 100 firearms were taken out of circulation. The most commonly encountered firearms that were seized for the year 2025 were pistols. This type of handgun is the preferred choice of weapon by serious offenders since it is easy to conceal. It is respectfully submitted that Guyana does not manufacture firearms. Of the 100 firearms taken out of circulation for the year 2025, 16 originated from the USA, while 16 emanated from Brazil. 31 firearms are awaiting verification since markings and serial numbers were tampered with in an effort to conceal their origins. Over the years, the Ghana Police Force has stood firm in its fight against the trafficking, possession, and cultivation of narcotics. It is common knowledge that Guyana is referred to as a transshipment point for the trafficking of cocaine. As such, the Ghana Police Force has increased its operations at checkpoints and choke points across the country. In the year 2025, 233 kilograms of cocaine were seized. This represents a significant increase in cocaine seizures when compared to the year 2024, when 6 kilograms of cocaine were intercepted. I also wish to submit that for the year 2025, 861 kilograms of cannabis were seized by our law enforcement officers. Additionally, for the year 2025, 208 acres of cannabis fields were eradicated. Moreover, for the year 2025, there were 244 persons charged with cannabis-related offenses, while there were 58 persons charged with cocaine possession-related offenses. Based on earlier mentioned serious crime analysis, here's a summary of the Ghana Police Force's performance during the year 2025. There were 269 less serious crime reports recorded in this year, 2025. That is 801 when compared with the year 2024, where 1,070 reports were recorded. Over the last 10 years, 2025 recorded the lowest serious crime figures. Additionally, over the last decade, the year 2025 recorded the lowest frequency of all categories of robberies, that is 270 reported cases, as opposed to the highest frequency of 1,237 reported cases recorded in the year 2017. Over the last decade, the year 2025 recorded the lowest cases of break-in and enter larceny, that is 190 reported cases, as opposed to the highest frequency of 1,287 reported cases in 2016. In the year 2025, 50 cases for cybercrime offenses were made as opposed to 23 cases that were made in the year 2024. Meanwhile, there were 12 convictions recorded for the year 2025 as opposed to 6 convictions for the year 2024. For the year 2025, 233 kilograms of cocaine were seized when compared with the year 2024, when 6 kilograms of cocaine were intercepted. For the year 2025, more persons were charged with cannabis-related offenses, that is 244 persons when compared with the year 2024, where 227 persons were prosecuted. Finally, for the year 2025, more persons were charged with cocaine possession-related offenses, that is 58 persons, when compared with the year 2024, where 38 persons were charged with cocaine possession-related offenses. At this juncture, let us examine the data as it relates to police misconduct. During the year 2025, 15 police ranks were charged for various criminal offenses, which include murder, 1, rape, 8, robbery in arms, 2 ranks, robbery with aggravation, 1 rank, causing death by dangerous driving, 1 rank, and trafficking in narcotics, 2 ranks. What were some of the strategies employed by the Ghana Police Force to achieve a reasonable reduction in serious offenses for this period? Intelligence-led policing. Criminal intelligence is a critical part of policing operations allowing us to effectively interpret the criminal environment to identify trends and threats. During the year 2025, a significant amount of ranks benefited from training programs locally, regionally, and internationally. During the year 2025, the Ghana Police Force continued to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies locally, regionally, and internationally in an effort to combat serious crime. Additionally, the Ghana Police Force continued to monitor known characters, erect roadblocks at strategic locations, both deliberate and snap roadblocks, continue to target hotspots, foster closer relations with members of the public through consultation, outreaches, and cooperation. Also, the deployment of our anti-crime patrols, particularly the roving patrol. During the year 2025, the Ghana Police Force continued to sensitize business owners about the benefits of security cameras, particularly at business locations. The force continued to increase their deployment of ranks based on temporal and spatial analysis. Also, we collaborated and cooperated with our auxiliary forces, community policing groups, and neighborhood police. Finally, one of our main strategies was the utilization of our command center CCTV monitoring room. During the festive season, the Ghana Police Force will increase its deployment of boots on the ground, including both uniformed and plainclothes ranks, during the day and night from Mondays to Sundays. We will endeavor to increase our deployment of anti-crime patrols. Fully operational police booths will be located at various locations across the 12 police regions, especially in the main shopping districts. Ranks on duty at these booths will be required to receive crime reports and take immediate action. The force will also deploy its marine patrol, mountain patrol, and canine patrol. The Corporate Communications Unit will also be tasked with the publication of safety tips to the general public. The force will deploy police patrols to police hotspots, especially during peak hours, identify suspicious known characters at shopping areas, commercial banks, and car parks. Moreover, our police ranks will be conducting briefing sessions with members of the business community on strategies to keep customers safe. As part of our operational measures, ranks will maintain a robust presence at choke points, checkpoints, and border locations. The force will increase its deployment at the Cheddi-Jackson International Airport and the Eugene Correa Airport, respectively. Ranks will be recalled from their vacation leave on the 1st day of December 2025. A team of highly trained investigators will always be on standby at the Criminal Investigation Department headquarters to be dispatched to any police region to investigate very serious and complicated cases of murders or other serious offenses. And lastly, recruits will be deployed to the various divisions to bolster the complement of ranks. The major successes achieved by the Ghana Police Force in the year 2025 are as follows. Forces Christmas Policing Posture for the year 2025. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Crime Chief Mr. Bladam. Precise, comprehensive presentation. I felt good when I saw the successes. The last one especially, you know what I'm talking about. Diligent work from detectives and the top brass of the Guyana Police Force, along with other agencies that bring that matter before the court in a very short space of time. It tests the ability of our policemen and women and our capability within the Guyana Police Force. At this time, I would like to call on the commander of A Division, who will present to us his policing posture in policing Georgetown and out areas around Georgetown. That person is no other than Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Simeon McBean.
Commissioner, as the second speaker, may I seek your permission to stand by the protocols already observed. Good morning, everyone. As was indicated, I'll be presenting the policing plan for Region 4A, which is Georgetown. And we'll go the boundaries of Georgetown, as you all know it. To the north will be the Atlantic Ocean, to the southeast end of Agricola where the arch is, to the east Cummins Lodge of the arch, and to the west the Demerara River. Now, Region 4A, as was indicated by the Crime Chief in his presentation, encompass Georgetown, the capital, Guyana's capital, and main commercial hub. This dynamic district faces significant challenges. Residential population of over 130,000 and a daily visiting population of over 50,000. The area requires robust policing. Furthermore, the division housed the offices of the branches of government. It is supported by 6 police stations and presently 11 outposts. The divisional annual policing activities will run from November 15th, 2025 to January 15th, 2026, a period that we know is characterized by intense commercial, social, and cultural activities. During this period, our shopping peaks, and as our shopping peaks, the visitors' numbers also rise. So too does the potential for crime, congestion, and public disorder, demanding a robust policing posture. Now let's look briefly at the crime analysis. While the comprehensive comparative analysis was done by the crime chief, for operational purpose, it is important to note that Region 4A crime has held steady when compared year to date for last year. Currently, we have a 3 crime difference from last year to this year. Against this backdrop, I would like to briefly reflect on the region, a 5 years analysis for Region 4A. Now, the performance of Region 4A over the last 5 years represents a massive success in public safety and strategy and the execution. Serious crime, as you can see, in the region has fallen by more than 80%. This time, 2020, we would have been recording 974 serious crimes. This year, thus far, 193. These statistics demonstrate a comprehensive, effective, and sustained effort to dismantle criminal activities. This numerical success translates directly to fewer victims, safer homes, and stronger public confidence. However, we are cognizant of the fact that during this analysis, one of the things that came to mind is that there is a distinct difference between the stats, which is the objective analysis, and public's perception. And going forward, one of our main goal, or the police force's main goal, is to ensure we bridge that gap. And we will be doing so by our community engagement and also looking at our victim support. Now, as was indicated, Region 4A, over 60% of our crimes happens on the street. So, in that being said, our Christmas policing plan will be focusing on putting boots on the ground. Briefly look at firearms. We have a total of 31 firearms were taken off the streets for 2025 thus far. Narcotics, 53,512 grams of cannabis and 18 grams of cocaine was seized during this year. And also briefly for the traffic stats, because the traffic officer will be presenting a detailed traffic stats for the country. We are experiencing a minimal increase in traffic accidents by 2.8%. However, we have a significant decrease in our fatality for this year. We are experiencing a 29% decrease in our fatal accidents. Noteworthy, we have a significant increase in our traffic enforcement for this year compared to last year. This year we have 5,013 cases made in comparison to 3,001 cases for the same period last year. And this is a breakdown. Now, what we intend to achieve with our Christmas policing? We intend to create a safer environment for all businesses, shoppers, and visitors within the region throughout the Christmas season. We intend to increase all forms of patrol. That means our foot or bicycle, vehicle, maritime, mountain, canine, drone, and traffic patrols. We also will be working in close collaboration with the City Constabulary, security agencies, our business community, and other stakeholders to ensure that we have a safer Georgetown for this season. We also intend to reduce crime, fear of crime, and traffic accidents and congestion. The risk. Due to the increased commercial activities, there's a likelihood of increased crime, traffic accident, and congestion. How we will be doing going about rolling out our Christmas policing. We will, as I indicate, we will increase all form of patrols, and you will see that physically from tomorrow morning. We will be conducting sectorial patrols. Georgetown will be divided into sectors, and we will police those sectors based on the needs of the sectors. We will have daily anti-crime and traffic patrols. We intend to have 207 patrols on a daily basis, 112 being anti-crime and 95 traffic patrols on a daily basis. That will take 507 police officers, police ranks daily to ensure we have those patrols on the road. 258 of those are for anti-crime, and 249 ranks will be conducting traffic patrols on a daily basis. Our patrol timings, our drone patrols will be done daily based on our needs. Foot, bicycle, canine, mountain patrols will be done from 8 to at close of shopping. Our motorcycle patrols will be done up to midnight, and these patrols, as was indicated by Crime Chief, they are led by our analysis. And our motor vehicle and maritime patrols will be done on a 24-hour basis. Now, some of our focus areas, our markets, as we indicated, the markets, you'll see increased presence of police joint with the city constabulary. In those areas, you'll find a joint patrol in its real sense, where a police officer will partner with the city police, and they will be conducting patrols in and around the market areas. Shopping malls, again, we have a joint presence. Places like Giffland Mall, you'll have police officers in collaboration with private security on ground that will ensure that those areas are safe. Robb and Regent Street, our banks and commercial areas will all be we have increased presence. Our tourism and recreational areas, thanks to the Ministry of Tourism, we would have trained hundreds of ranks recently on tourism policing. So that is a boost for the Guyana Police Force. Our car parks, the seawall, which is part of our tourism area, hotels, the residential areas. We want, when people leave their homes to shop, they are safe, so those areas will also see increased police presence, or ferry stellings, KPs and VPs, post offices, and our shipping agencies. During this time, there is a need for, because there is an influx of persons from all parts of Guyana who converge at our shipping agencies. Now, we will rely heavily on technology during this period to ensure that we have a successful policing season. And we will be using our smart cameras, facial and license plate recognition cameras for identifying suspects, motor vehicles, and monitoring suspicious activities. Use of our crime prevention and detection LCD monitors, and these are monitors if you at both markets, the Stabroek and Border Market, and on the seawalls. These cameras, I can say that these cameras are success stories for us. Since the implementation of those cameras, we would have seen significant reduction of reported crimes within those areas. We have our drone police for aerial patrols and crowd monitoring. Each rank going on duty will have a body camera, will be wearing a body camera. And there will be a direct link, as always, between the command center or operations room and the patrols on the ground for faster police response. And as customary, we will collaborate with our private sector, use of their camera systems or etc. to inform us of what's going on in their domain. And as I indicated about the command center, and these are the LCD cameras. Now we will have some heightened activities, as I said before, heightened traffic enforcement, security and management of entertainment and public events. This time, the festive season, there will be an increase of entertainment events, so we will ensure those areas are properly policed. And that goes hand in hand with our effort to do noise nuisance reduction. While we will be granting and giving persons permission to enjoy the festive season, we'll also ensure that noise emitting does not adversely affect persons who do not want to be affected. We will increase our intelligence-led operations and our visits to KPs and VPs, presence in our commercial and residential areas, and the collaboration within the commanders will be greatest during this time. For instance, 4A will have to collaborate with Region 4C, 4B in policing the road network, ensure that we have a plan that works for both regions. Also, we'll have to collaborate with Region 3 for the ferry sailings, etc., to ensure we have the required policing posture at those areas. Also importantly, our continuous community engagement with businesses, community, and citizens. We also strengthen our partnership through community walkabout and meetings and our Christmas outreaches. Encourage residents to participate in community activities that will aid in crime, deterring crime within the area. Collaborate with youths and faith-based and business organizations. These organizations are now playing a pivotal role in our crime fighting strategy in Guyana. Encouraging citizens to use digital platforms such as WhatsApp, hotline, social media to report incidents of crime. And also, we will continue to use our corporate communication unit to ensure we send our message, our crime tips, our crime prevention tips, our traffic issues. We will ensure that those are put out there by the CCU and also other media agencies. Now, as customary, special arrangements will be implemented to facilitate late shopping on Christmas Eve and New Year's. And I will just start concluding by giving you some crime tips and looking at those for businesses. For businesses, install high quality security cameras. Don't keep more cash than necessary on your premises. Be security alert at all times. Report any suspicious activities to the police. It's better to over-report than not reporting an incident. Avoid being predictable with your banking times. And for those coming out to shop, be alert and aware of your surroundings at all times. Carry only what you need, not more cash than is needed. Keep your purse or your wallet in front of you instead of behind you. Put whatever you purchase in your trunk, leaving that in your car may increase your risk for theft, and the advice to dress down is an appropriate one. Consider alternative options to pay, and we have those options now. We have MMG credit cards, debit cards that we can use to assist us in from carrying around large amount of cash. And finally, for some traffic tips, some traffic concerns and tips. Speeding is continue to be a concern for us, driving under the influence of alcohol or drug. In Georgetown, double parking is an issue, diagonal parking and obstruction. And to give you a few tips to consider when coming to Georgetown, plan your trip. If you're coming in a group, consider carpooling and use designated parking areas. And when I say designated, do not park on areas that are no parking, that will cause congestion, that will cause obstruction. How can we be contacted? Other than engaging with the ranks on the beat, you can get us at 227-1149 or command center at 911, or we have a 24-hour duty officer system where it's a WhatsApp. You can get the duty officer in 620-0541. Thank you very much. That brings me to the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. McBean. Let us give him another round of applause, please. One of the key elements he mentioned is that your safety is our top priority, and therefore this can only be done by collective effort, which is very, very important to get out there in the public. At this time, an issue or traffic issue has always been on the top priority at this time in our country, with the development of a lot of roads, new bridges, and by now, Mr. Mahendra Singh is a household name in Guyana as a traffic chief. At this time, I'd like to welcome Mr. Singh, traffic officer, to do his presentation.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner Administration. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Clifton Hicken, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Errol Watts, Deputy Commissioner of Operations, Mr. Simon McBean, Deputy Commissioner and Regional Commander 4A, Chief Constable, I recognize you, Mr. Reed, Regional and Branch Commanders, strategic partners of the Guyana Police Force, other ranks, importantly members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mahendra Singh, the traffic officer, and our presentation titled the 2025 Operational Posture Traffic, with the theme for road safety 2025-2026 being careful driving saves lives, is as follows. It takes an outline with a traffic analysis, information, intention, a risk assessment, the method, and of course, a few road safety tips. Road safety has no demographic or geographic boundaries. It impacts all countries, whether low income, high income, or middle income. Wherever you are, it is about the same thing: the road, your vehicle, and you, the user, as well as others who are deemed vulnerable. This slide represents significant selfless efforts, significant investment in the development of human resources, financial investments to resource the Guyana Police Force Traffic Department. It represents an unmatched commitment to duty by each rank who staff the Traffic Department. Further, it represents an overall commitment by the leadership of the police force to ensure that each effort we make is one that goes towards achieving a desired end. And in the case of traffic management, it goes towards not only a reduction in accidents, but safer roads for each road user to utilize. It also represents an adoption of technology by the traffic department to do what? Not just to mitigate against what exists, but to improve the quality of service that we provide to the public each day. And with 2023 being the base year, to date, presently, you will find there are significant reductions in each category of accidents coming all the way to today. Notwithstanding the fact that each day accidents are reported. This didn't happen by chance. This happened because of one, the leadership provided to us. Two, the commitment of 577 ranks. And others, specifically towards the task of ensuring effective and now smart traffic management. Present day, we are experiencing a reduction 12% in all categories of accidents when compared to last year. If you look carefully at 2024, how did we manage to arrive at 117 fatal accidents compared to 2023? Again, it wasn't by chance. Pure commitment. Expanded collaboration to include more in the multi-sectoral stakeholder arrangement. For what? Just for ownership? No. So that each person would understand personal responsibility is not transferable. And it starts with us, just like everything else. Damage and minor accidents, they account for more than 70% of our accident figures and statistics. These did not require any form of responses and or medical intervention, thereby not placing any strain on the health sector. More vehicles have been imported and or registered and placed in use in each sector in our country, almost triple between 2020 to present day than between 2015 to December 31, 2019. Convergence of traffic drives up what? Congestion. Each day as we look at what modernization represents in our country, the entire railway embankment is being expanded to what? To 4 lanes, 2 on each carriageway. That represents a challenge on the East Coast right away for what exists the East Coast Public Road to accommodate what? Increased volumes, convergence from region 6, 5 into 4C or the East Coast, coming all the way to Georgetown. Transiting passengers and our business forces experience delays, but then that demands something. It demands that you plan. It demands that you factor delays. It demands that you factor expansionism must occur even while you get by. To cater for what? Greater business opportunities and possibilities. Roadworks aside, when we factor what's taking place in the East Bank in Region 4B, it demands that we align our deployment to meet present day. We have done exactly that. And you're not experiencing any delays that go beyond maybe 90 seconds based on the deployment of the Guyana Police Force. Axle loads, a loss of control, poorly maintained vehicles, those are things that demand a personal attention to detail by driver or owner. Many an immobile vehicle on the highways and even the East Bank. That is not the police who have caused that or contributed to it. But we have a role to play in traffic management to ensure what? It is recognized, it is observed, and by way of advisories, the general road using population is alerted. Why? To ensure that not only the statistic remains where it is, reduced, but to improve road safety. Work, school, and business hours remain aligned to each other. When you factor this, therefore convergence will have an issue because there will always be some form of congestion and or delay. The analysis further considers the time, the days of the week, and causes of accidents. And here I posit to offer you that the entire time clock accounts for accidents occurrence. The most notable span of time being midday to midnight for fatal accidents. Speeding alone has accounted for more than at least 85 of our fatal accidents for 2025. 18 of those fatal accidents were where a single vehicle collided with what? Bridges, medians, and or as a result of breaches of traffic light signals. The vulnerable classes, motorcyclists are topping the list. Why? For careless use, for dangerous driving, for paying no heed to safety, not even safety helmet in your possession, much less wearing one. That is followed by pedestrians. 49 motorcyclists for this year would have died on the roadways. 25 pedestrians, 15 drivers, 7 occupants of a motor vehicle, 8 pedal cyclists, and 10 pillion riders. This could have been lower. It could have been lower if not only us in that equation of safety were taking the time to make the effort. Personal responsibility again. Who are the contributors? Private motor cars on 52 occasions, motor lorries on 27 occasions, motorcycles on 11 such occasions, minibuses 2 times, and a hire car 4 times. This slide, and this slide should not be taken, it is us against you. It's all of us in the same equation. When I speak of traffic ranks versus motorists and I speak of the ratio, there's a great imbalance. Imbalance in the sense that one of us service almost 2,000 road users present day in our country. This leads to challenge in terms of enforcement and directional duties. Yet, there is balanced visibility. Yet, you can see us in each space doing the needful. The increased number of vehicles coupled with construction requires more efficient and strategic officer deployment. This is precisely what is done and is a common feature daily based on the demands and our availability. Escort services by the traffic department has increased significantly, almost 10 times over what it was prior to 2020. Major events is a common feature. The Caribbean Premier League, the Global Super League, major concert, Guy Expo, the Building Expo. And why? Because our country is on the map. Expansion is taking place. We're now a producing nation. We're an investment-bound destination. The entire environment is conducive to all of this. When I speak of body part cameras, what are the benefits accrued to having one and utilizing same? The confidence with which the service is rendered is greater. The checks and balance with which an organization can operate such as ours, it allows us to see what our ranks are doing. It allows us to establish that we can refine the services we are delivering to achieve what? Greater efficiency. With the intervention of no other than our commissioner, supported by the commander-in-chief, each of our traffic ranks, they have one assigned specifically to them for use. These cameras also help us to have an appreciation of what obtains on the road when we are performing directional duties. They are taken back to station, the footage is reviewed to do what? Enforcement purpose support and to improve the rank himself or herself. That's to what they are doing and if they are accomplishing something that goes with the mandate of the force. Safe City. We had one command center many years ago. These days in each almost every coast and division, there's an operable command center. Safe City has translated to Safe Country. These cameras help us to have a real-time appreciation of where the issue exists so that we can deploy or redeploy to meet the demands. And I want to tell you that each week, arising out of the help of the Safe City system, we have more than 200 cases being made, specifically as it relates to parking and obstruction type offenses. Some persons would like to know how we arrive on the scene so quickly, where they would have left their motor vehicles in a dangerous position. Don't leave it, don't be ticketed, and don't wonder how we knew. This is not a lotto. It's not a case without a ticket you don't have a chance, because this lotto you have to pay. If you don't pay, we will proceed to court to ensure the warrant is there to compel you to pay. Less than lethal means the traffic department ranks have been identified and trained in the use of the tasers, and in keeping with the use of force continuum for minimum force, we are equipped and they will be utilized. Road network development and emerging areas. When I speak to engineering, road traffic engineering expansion is taking place across critical regions to create a more improved link to guarantee greater efficiency with which public transportation and private businesses are conducted. Why? To enhance also the supply chain locally, internally. Lower costs, naturally. Improvement of profit for private sectors. Improvement generally with which people move. New infrastructure and commercial zones have expanded, but they have also introduced challenges. New roads, more traffic, coupled with an insufficiency of signs and signals. Also, the slothful execution of some road work contracts and poor consultancy. It must be highlighted that while everything is happening, there are levels of management. And only recently we have seen the police would have had to complement most of what is being done to improve the road using experience. The shift in the population almost immediately creates a challenge. New housing development, supply chain effects, large vehicles destroy community roads. All of these would have been recognized in keeping with points 1 to 4, promulgated to the relevant authority, and plans are in place to mitigate. Importantly, I mentioned the third lanes. When the third lanes were put in place, we did not have Mandela to Eccles Interlink. We did not have the Heroes Highway. We did not have Ogle Bypass. We did not have Diamond to Bosby Dam. And Red Road was not enhanced to 4 lanes. Neither was the dump site Higgs Bush Road. Greenfield Road was also not enhanced to the state it is in. Now with all of this, and flat roads, and continuous importation and registration of motor vehicles, where a series is finished in 92 days, on average 120 vehicles are being registered daily by the authority, GRA. We still have a third lane in place. And why? Analysis points to between 0645 to 720. There's minimum traffic along the East Bank and even the East Coast. Poor planning on the part of the road user, taking things for granted and wanting to do it your way. Well, we are not selfish. The leadership we are exposed to, it enables us to have a greater appreciation of what we must do to provide that enhanced service. And therefore the third lanes are in place. More police ranks, more patrols, greater visibility to support continuous movement, a reduction of the possibility of an accident, and enhanced road usage overall. And the third lane is present on the East Bank and the East Coast. So our plan for the period, catering specifically to November 15th this year to January 15, 2026. And the information says, it's an intense period for the movement of goods, services, people, and activities across our country. A tourism boost via increase in incoming passengers and major events. Traffic to and from the ports of entry and exit has increased due to Guyana's expanding sectors. Our intention to ensure the continuous flow of all forms of traffic within all regional police divisions, to minimize traffic congestion in and around critical areas of activities, to conduct continuous awareness programs aimed at ensuring all plans, routes of travel, and safety information meets the target audience, to minimize accident occurrence through visibility, partnership, awareness, enforcement, and roving patrols, to increase use of the Safe City, Safe Country platform for monitoring and enforcement. The risk assessment conducted would have led us to arrive at this. There is the likelihood of an increase in accidents across the country, of an increase in alcohol consumption by road users across the country owing to the season, an increase in the movement and parking of containerized cargo in and around the city, an increase in pedestrian traffic within shopping areas, likelihood of congestion or delays due to road works, and limited parking within the shopping areas countrywide. Our method, having carefully considered what the risks were. Each region will be divided into sectors to improve effective service delivery. Smaller spans of control, greater effectiveness in terms of control. Increase in fixed point placement along the main thoroughfares. Deployment of roving patrols to dominate busy roadways. Remote monitoring via regional command centers to guide rapid responses. Increase public awareness programs via radio, social media, and in-person lectures. Staggered enforcement teams will be deployed based on analysis to supplement the Safe Road Intelligence System. This is the speed camera system. The issuance of traffic advisories and early alerts via all media platforms. This has to do with outgoing and or incoming passengers traveling via the main ports of entry and exit. This slide represents, and the other 11 will represent what obtains in each of the regional police divisions. This one speaks to Region 1. There are 3 sectors, and there are special arrangements catering to Christmas Eve Day and Old Year's Day. And where there is a need, based on the market days that is designated, additional ranks would be there to support. In Region 2, sectors again, 4 of them, and in this region there would be no road closures. Additional ranks will be made available at the key markets at Sodi, Anna Regina, and Charity. Region 3 has grown immensely over time. It has been rapidly transformed, is still being transformed. Note, there are 3 sectors. Within Hoop, there would be no closures there. Traffic will flow in both directions, managed by ranks. Static place. Lenora, where the mall is, and not very far away the market, complemented by a static presence. Parika Stelling, the same obtains. And there will be extended patrols, which now cater to what? The new bridge that we have in place, the Dr. Bara Jagdev Demerara River Bridge, to ensure minimum delays, reduce congestion, proper use of the roundabout, and all flows of traffic continue unimpeded. Region 4A, 15 sectors this division has been divided into. Everything north of the Agricola Arch and west of the Arch at Industry. Within that space, there are 15 sectors, an increase in fixed point placement, roving patrols, mostly motorcycles, CCTV support via the command center, and staggered enforcement teams. The teams that they have in Regional Division 4A will be complemented by 2 from traffic headquarters, addressing specifically congestion which has an orientation from parking type offenses. The special arrangements for Region 4A catering to the 24th Christmas Eve and 31st Old Years. What we are presenting to you here is that everything that is being done is with consideration for the movement of people, cargo, support for the supply chain, containerized movement of cargo specifically here. And safety is at the core of it. That no articulated vehicle and or containerized trailer will be hauled along Rob Street heading for the east. Each such will move along a designated route which leads you to Main Street, High Street, Young Street and beyond. Each such movement, having collaborated with the Private Sector Commission and the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, will be done beyond the hours of movement, that is to say beyond 20 hours each night, to support restocking of shelves and or movement of cargo. Church Street primarily continues to be for eastbound, Sheriff Street north and southbound. With Sheriff Street, I want to mention approaches have been made continuously towards the Ministry of Public Works to synchronize traffic light signals to enhance movement, giving priority to the greater volumes. Water Street continues to support the movement of cargo and or other small vehicles towards the business areas. Region 4B, the East Bank. There are 5 sectors, and I'd like to bring to your attention that southbound priority for outbound passengers and all road users. The system is in place, it has been in place prior, and it continues to work. There are staggered ward sites along the East Bank with an increased mobile and or fixed deployment. Traffic ranks, specifically taking into consideration that the expansion of the road network from Good Success to Timeri and from Suicide Junction to Linden, it has implication for movement, it has implication for persons arriving at the airport on time, and we put a system in place where there is an outpost at the Suicide Junction. That outpost supports the placement of more ranks. The ranks have already been there, and testament to this is over the past 31 days to report to you, Commissioner. There is a single report of anyone missing a flight, of anyone arriving at the airport after the designated time for check-in, and or any form of accident slowing down traffic for more than 90 seconds. If there is a report, it has to do with the contractor and not the Guyana Police Force. There are 2 levels of supervision for the contractor, the consultancy and or the government's engineering core at the Work Services Group. The early advisory and alerts based on flight schedule. We have access to the CJIA flight schedules. We put these out, what? To ensure that everyone is aware of the time that they should plan to arrive, and to factor that owing to roadworks, there might be single lane, single direction flow at some point in time. Roving patrols along the eastern and western access of the Dr. Bara Jagdev Demerara River Bridge. This enhances the movement considerably, giving credence to the fact that some of us are still in the mood. We want to have a video with ourselves for TikTok on the bridge and/or a photograph. Take note, it will cost you $100,000. Already, 7 persons would have had to pay. Take note that the bylaws that govern the use of that bridge gives the general manager powers beyond the police to ensure you are fined. Take note that the towing service I refer to, if effectuated by the Demerara River Bridge general manager, there is no discretion. Do not call me. When you call the police, they do not have the authority to override that of the Demerara River Bridge manager. So you will pay storage, a pound fee, and the fine associated with stopping on the bridge. Have a good day. Region 4C, the East Coast, transforms similarly like the one on the west side in Region 3. Mr. Parashram has 5 sectors and he has arrangements for the 24th and the 31st. Please note, again arising out of the leadership of the force, already at the markets and shopping areas, there are 2 outposts staffed by police ranks at Monrepo and at Lusignan. So while forecasting would have taken place and visionary leadership is available to us and within our midst, this is already being addressed to mitigate against what usually prevails. But you must expect some delays owing to what? The expansion of the railway embankment. And take note that the third lane, which leads all the way from the East Coast at LBI to Georgetown, it is in force, in place, and for the peak hours only, by morning and by afternoon. Just to bring to the audience's attention that very soon, on the railway embankment, that aspect has been completed, where there are 2 lanes on either carriageway. In the mornings, you will proceed in 2 lanes heading west on a single carriageway from as far as LBI. Where the road is completed, and after a visit with Mr. Parashram, we will now proceed to ensure that all forms of media will enable us to enable the awareness process to be operationalized. Enough time would be given before we cut off what you usually knew as the entire railway embankment being westbound for a specific period of time. Region 5, no different from the other regions prior. They have the sectors 5 and Lonsdale Witchright has catered to shopping along the Rosignol Public Road and a diversion through Bennett Dam to ease congestion. Region 6, Assistant Commissioner Bacchus has 3 sectors and he also has some road closures, and these will only be in force on the 24th and 31st. One in New Amsterdam, a diversion at Rose Hall, and that diversion at Rose Hall is already in place and it works every morning. Only this time it will be included for the afternoon period as well. And Springlands Public Road, there will be no closure. Static presence would enable flow of traffic both north and south. Region 7, Dion Moore continues to support me and us generally. He has aligned his sectors to the subdivisional boundaries, and in Central Bartica, each of the avenues will have a fixed point placement to support movement and or shopping. Region 8, Ravindra Stanley has done the same thing like Region 7, aligning the sectors to the subdivisional boundaries. And in Central Madhya, where shopping and or movement of people and services is greater, an additional placement will be there. Region 9, Superintendent Mohammed Ali has done the same thing, and in Central Letem will increase the presence for both of the days. Region 10, Assistant Commissioner Corley Simon, he has 5 sectors, and he has his road closure at Co-op Crescent between the Lens Building and Greenheart Street, and in no entries. Naturally, there will be traffic advisories prior and commencing now to ensure everyone is so acclimatized, and an increased presence for late shopping in those areas. The fixed point placement in Region 4A, these are just some of them, at each critical intersection that lends to specific movement of volumes, traffic ranks will be posted. They will be rotated every 2 to 3 hours, so there will be no burnout. We will ensure as far as possible that this information is available to the public each and every day as a reminder. And for you to understand, I want to advise that as far as possible, single vehicle occupancy may not necessarily tie into the plan that we have. The occupancy of a motor vehicle should be utilized for the seating capacity to ensure more effective services and that you will enter road safety as well. Regions 1 to 3 and 4B to 10, these are some of the critical areas mentioned. The Demerara River Bridge western end, why I mention this still is that the roundabout, as large as it is, the convergence from each key area owing to development, it requires that we still pay attention. Here we are supported by the regional command center as well, that in real time we are kept updated. Vidanoop Junction, Lenora Mall, Parika Junction, Red Road on the east bank, Grove Public Road by Bounty, and Grove Public Road has been expanded significantly now where it caters to parking. It caters significantly to 2 lanes of traffic proceeding north and south, and there are road markings. Consider your movement. I offer some safety and congestion mitigating tips. Speeding is never the option. You must slow down and use the road carefully. Not because it says that 80 is the allowable limit. What prevails at the time will dictate if you go at 80 or 70 or 75. It may require you to go a little slower. Go a little slower, live, and you will have the cash grant as well, rather than not being here. Consume responsibly or use a designated sober, capable driver. Now, the Intoxicated Liquor License Act 2022, there was an amendment which places blame squarely at the feet of bar owners. Our traffic education exercises, in collaboration with all of our partners, have taken us to almost every bar. We're still going to come. It is our duty. But here's the important thing. As an owner, don't look at profit as the only thing that keeps your bar going. Look at continuous patronage of your bar. That if one of your known supporters would have died, he is not going to come to spend anymore. So here is the responsibility. The bar owner, the server, they're both liable. The revocation and or suspension of the license to operate the bar is one of the critical considerations. So once reported to us, we will take the action. Spotting is also going to be utilized to support us now, because I don't think someone who is imbibing and or socializing will report another one. He sees it as snitching. Our methodology will have to come into play to support what we're talking about here. Assign focus on your personal safety as well as others using the road, similar to the focus you place on your asset. The fear of crime, making yourself harder a target for you to be susceptible to criminal activities. Treat it the same way for traffic accidents. Be more aware. Make yourselves more aware with your surroundings. Know the roads you're traveling. Don't ever make the mistake of saying, well, I am from Borbis and I never knew Heroes Highway had so many twists and turns. Get in tune with what is in place. Do not drive in any manner dangerous to other road users. Do not use the road shoulders or the newly built road, taking or giving credence to the fact that because they were space, it's not designated for that. The dangerous and or careless driving is being captured via the SRIS, via the Safe City, and we have put mitigating steps where cones line those areas, and the complaint come now that there is some form of congestion. No. Road traffic engineering, that road was built for the particular use. Comply with the rules of the road. Do not leave any motor vehicle in a dangerous position. Don't come to Central Georgia or go to any shopping area and take the opportunity to leave your motor vehicle in a dangerous position and or park it in such a way it results in a motor vehicle causing obstruction. Don't do that. The demerit point system is coming. There will be no discretion to be exercised. And don't think for one moment, because the vehicles belong to a state or government agency, you're exempted. The agency or entity is exempted. You're an employee. You're a driver. You can and will be ticketed or charged. Don't do it. Comply with speed radar signs. Traffic calming measures would have been implemented on every new road built by government of Guyana. There are speed radar signs that have been calibrated. Those signs help you to understand the rate of speed you are traveling at, and you must make the adjustment. They are along the entire stretch on the East Coast, the East Bank in Region 3, and they are being rolled out across other regions. Those little signs, that digital sign you see, and you pay no heed to, it plays an important role as a reminder to you, the road user. It will help you to have an appreciation that the speed at which you're traveling were you to go at a less rate of speed. When accidents occur, the injuries will not be so severe, there wouldn't be a loss of life, less downtime, and more importantly, damages amount of money. Your economics will not be right. Congestion mitigating tips. I suggest park and ride. We have an enhanced railway embankment and other spaces. Come, park there, that is supported by physical security and or technological advancement with safe city cameras. This is complemented by roving patrols. When you park there, you use zone public transportation to get into central Georgetown. That in itself enhances the road using experience. Park and pool. You use the same space. And when you park and pool, if you're coming from the same area and each of you are driving, 4 of you would have driven single occupancy from Mahaika to Georgetown. Park 3 of the vehicles there, and you use 1 of the vehicles to get to where you are going. That says something about a country that is growing. It speaks to maturity. It speaks to social cohesion. Carpooling, and this is from the commencement of the journey. Why not 4 of you from Mahaika come with 1 vehicle? And you complement each other to facilitate or offset the cost, fuel and other things. And you still can get to do your business in the comfort of a private motor vehicle. You still get to shop, you support the movement of vulnerable classes, and everyone gets by without an accident. Some of our successes, and these numbers, we boast nothing about them. 22,027 summonses would have been served. There's an increase from last year. The utilization of a summons reduces the ability of the traffic rank to be engaging and or become confrontational. It's procedural. Warrants, 717 warrants executed. Revenue generated, $5,347,850. Cases made, 120,254 cases. We are operating at more than 50% increase in terms of cases made than last year. When you look at cases made, should we as a compliant or a voluntarily compliant road using population have so many cases? No. Lecture to schools. The traffic education department continues as decentralized as it is. 821 lecture to schools. Lecture to bars, 387. Lecture to drivers in the spaces that they operate, making it easier for us to access them and not inconveniencing them. 872. These defensive driving sessions, 109. These sessions are free of cost. We do these sessions on invite and or us volunteering the service to each agency, entity, either private or public. Community engagements, 121. Why? The community is made up of each road user, each medical practitioner, the lawyer, and every strata of society. This helps us now to have a greater reach in terms of the audience to sell the message. License suspended. We'd like to say more were suspended, but 21 drivers' license would have been suspended for the period from January 1st to present day for drivers who would have been involved in accidents, most of them caused by dangerous driving charge. DUI cases, 1,428 persons were charged, and I only mentioned those who were charged here. Some of the fines range from 200,000 down to 5,000 and or a reprimand and discharge. Every person who would have drank and driven and were tested and their breath test proved that they were above the prescribed limit should have paid $1 million. Speeding tickets, 32,768 speeding tickets issued during the period, of which 15,000 were from the Safe Road Intelligence System, which was operationalized on April 7, 2025. This says some story. With 26 operable sites and some of the speeds as much as 180. I think the only thing left for some of them is pull the gear shift and raise the vehicle going upwards. Tickets issued generally, 47,601 tickets were issued for traffic offenses in this country from January 1 to present day. And escorts, one of the core performances of the traffic headquarters. We perform this function for every arriving VIP and as so requested, 2,839. And what we would have done is ensure that what? A country which is growing, economic base is supported, and or the environment that supports our own development is recipient of the same service for which we were resourced. These are just a few vehicles I put on the screen for you to see. The black wagon, there is nothing recognizable. The gentleman was already arrested and charged. The obscure ID marking and or the fraudulent imitation ID marking at the top, which is a criminal offense, that police rank, a file is being done for him to be sent to Commissioner of Police. And the two vehicles below. Be very clear. I am traffic officer until the point I decide. For I'm very disciplined and I'm productive and not counterproductive. Don't take the state's asset and go and park them on the road and obstruct the general masses. There is an implication. You will be charged or ticketed. You see those two bottom ones? That is a joint service vehicle at Courts on Main Street. And the one to the lower end is another joint service vehicle utilizing a siren, much to the detriment of general users. And the video shows he was going to Golden Pagoda. There's a Chinese restaurant. This brings to an end my little presentation for this particular event. I thank you for being a good audience. Commissioner, I thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. I was just about to say, your name fits you. The only thing short, you should be a good singer. Thank you. Give him a round of applause, Traffic Chief. Yes. So, we will have a segment for questions, but before we do that, the band, I ask you to stand by to play a rendition for us, something very spicy. And before we go to the band, I would like to introduce a gentleman who has been at the helm of the force since 2022. Prior to his ascension to office, he would have held different positions, worked in various divisions, spent most of his time in operations, headed operations, and now he is at the helm of the force. For some reason, during Christmas time, I always find myself very close to this particular gentleman, very close to him. We are now seeing a 12% reduction in fatal accidents and a reduction of serious crimes under his leadership. I would like to introduce to you no other than the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clifton Anthony Hicken, to make brief remarks. Thank you.
Kindly be seated. Thank you, DC Admin, for the warm welcome. ELT at the head table, commanders, senior and junior officers, Assistant Commissioner Lee and your team, members of the CCU, members of the media, band, the best band in the land, good morning. Good morning. Right. And so I want to start by saying this. One, all of you here would have been listening to police presentations years and years and years, and I'm sure you would have seen the presentations getting better by the year. I want to start by saying 2020, I was DC Ops, and recognizing the government's input in terms of road construction, infrastructure development, much to the importance of police, we decided that we are going to sit as a team. We pulled the LT together, working by day, working by night. Now, if you have a new community that is built, there's no community culture because people from all walks of life going into that community, again, that's a concern for the police. If we have roads moving from point A to point B and it's broad, that's a complaint for the police because people will try to exploit that. And so we worked day and night and we decided that the force has to have a direction in which it goes. And so we decided on a strategic plan. The pillars of the strategic plan speak to developing our people, partnership, infrastructure, professionalism and accountability, performance and operation. Why? Because we look at first the buildings that the police were working under. And it tells us that whenever we're placed in a position based on our conduciveness, that's the way we develop, that's the way we enhance, and that's the way we provide a service to the public. So we decided that we are going to have minimum standard buildings, and if you look across the regions, the government of Guyana has, through our budget, enhanced what we would have been writing for, and so we have standard buildings across all of the region, meaning the 10 administrative region and by extension the 12 administration for police. We didn't stop there. We decided that while we are looking at infrastructure, we are going to look at partnership. And you find the commissioner, the ELT, all the commanders and the ranks are going into the communities. Why are they going into the communities? One, to break the barrier and to build a relationship. But more importantly, things that you're getting out of the community when you visit will not come to the station. Meaning some people coming to the station is a problem for them. You go to the community and meet them. We've been doing that, and we've been gaining success in that regard. The operation priority I want to speak to is to increase seizure of drugs, guns, and the rest of it. That has been happening. Developing our people, this is the first time ever in the history of the Guyana Police Force. The officers are disqualified, and give them a round of applause for that. The qualification come through the government's Gold Scholarship, University of Guyana, and the MOUs and the MOAs we sign on with all the universities. And so as we are sitting here, the entire command ship has masters. Kendall has a doctorate. A lot of people doing the doctorate now, and so we're developing a force to meet contemporary era. Having said that, these are what we went through. Having developed the force academically and otherwise, this year we went into election. And so, joint services, it was smooth. Regional and general election, it was also smooth. You know why? Because one, we are built now at a level where we don't make decisions like that. It is normally processed. And if you process something, you will have the best decisions. Two, as a force, the leadership at all levels acted the way they ought to. And so we had a clean, incident-free election. It's surprising to know that coming out of the strategic plan, there's a lot of implementations and enforcements. But we decided that if crime is going to happen and we're going to have traffic accidents, we need to have a device to deal with that. And right away, we decided on the DBMIU, Database Management Information Unit. That tells us where we can deploy our ranks, traffic, and crime. And so we have the crime and the traffic people on a weekly basis prepare a document and send it to the commander. The following week, the commander understands where you have problem, where there are potential problems, and where they are free. And so if you can take the police from an area that is relatively quiet and place it in an area that we have potential or crime, you will have a balance in terms of reduction. That is being happening. Now, I want to say this. From 2020 coming right down the line, we've been seeing improvement. But we've seen more improvement than ever because at this stage, Christmas season, we have minus 25% in serious crime. Give yourself a round of applause. And despite we had more fatals, we still have an overall 12% decrease in traffic. Give yourself a round of applause. During this period, all of the commanders will be intertwined with each other. You know why? Because the regions are accessible. And so if something happens in one region, the other region, there is an SOP where all the commanders put structures in place to ensure nothing past the region. Hence, I'm just going to say this briefly, hence the last success in terms of the bombing we had from the Venezuelan. And so we're going to improve on that by ensuring during the Christmas season, through DCOps, of course, we have senior officers working at force control. Why senior officers? Because they can give instructions in terms of what's going on in the street and while they're informing us, the senior people, to take over in that regard. The command centers, let me start with the base. The command center that we have, that has been doing good for us. Recently, in fact, on 2 or 3 speeches where the president would have addressed people, I learned about the initiative in terms of computerizing the entire country, digitizing the entire country. That is so good because it helps to ensure that we have information at a shorter notice. The passage of information will improve anyway in that regard. And so we will have to, and we have commenced that, digitizing the force. And when I'm saying this, and I'm speaking to the senior people. We have to digitize the force so we can start taking occurrences on the computer. And so, coming out of this year into next year, we're going to push in terms of digitization. Johnson knows what he has to do, and he's going to be complimented, and so we're going to do just that. But the command centers that is giving us the success we are getting will be replicated in all the regions, not on the scale, but a subsection to that. Meaning, Region 2, we already have that Region 6. The other regions, Region 10 and the others, we're closing that off for next year. When all the regions have the command center, then we are going to go to Safe Country. Right now we have Safe City. Safe Country means cameras all around the country, and so anytime you move or you breathe, in terms of something wrong, we're going to have it replicated and you'll be charged. Now, I must mention this. 3 accidents happened yesterday. One in Letem, one in Region 4, this was St. John Road, and the other one in Region 6. All of these accidents could have been avoided. All of it could have been avoided. All of them. When you look at the information you're having. And so, my plea to the police, first of all, while you're working to ensure we mitigate against lawlessness on the road, we need to go into the communities and speak traffic and crime. For the media, I'm asking at this level for you to help us to say things to the public for them to understand that every time we lose a life, we're losing resources in our country. We cannot afford that. We're developing rapidly and we cannot afford to lose resources negligently. The flights are coming in after 11, 12 and 1, 2. We have a mechanism in place. We're going to have a patrol or 2 crisscrossing to Mary to Georgetown. Why? That is to ensure that nobody tail anybody when we're going and tail anybody when they're coming. We want to ensure that we sell Guyana the way it ought to be sold, and we're going to do that. For the Christmas Eve nights and All Year's nights, police will work until the next day based on what is happening. And the patrol that come in tonight will supplement those that work day, and so we're going to have patrols and police presence in all the areas. And that is Christmas Eve night, and that is All Year's night, to ensure that we mitigate against anything that can bring us and cause us to answer questions. Now, before I close, I want to say this. To the commanders that presented before, to the officers that presented before, they would have done a pretty job through analysis. And so, crowd, please give them a round of applause. For the continued development of the Guyana Police Force, give yourself a round of applause. And for our friends in the media, give them a round of applause. Because from today henceforth, Christmas Police commencing tomorrow, and the public is expected to be free of fear of crime or crime, because anyway you turn, you're going to be seeing police on bicycle, police on foot, canine police, police on vehicles, and all the resources we have as a Guyana Police Force will be placed out there. Crime and traffic is the hallmark of the police force, and so we're going to ensure that we're on top of crime, we're on top of traffic. And God bless you, members of the Guyana Police Force, and God bless Guyana and the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Move to the band. After the band, I'll ask that Ms. Moore and Sangovaya come forward, please, and then we'll take some questions.
Commissioner of Police, sir, could you say, now that we have the suspects before the court with regards to the terrorist attack, if there was a connection with the two other bombing that took place earlier this year, and what assurances do you offer the citizens that there will be no further attacks?
Based on our investigation, while Blanham is there, based on our investigation, there is no motive that would point us to the collaboration of the others. But to be sure that this happened and we've ramped up as a joint services, we've ramped up all the gaps that we have. And so now we have, as a joint services, we can better enable to protect our country.
Follow up, sir. Could you say what the motive was for this particular attack at the mobile gas station?
That cannot be said at this time. You know the matters before the court, please.
All right, if it is that we could just
Commissioner.
keep our questions to today's presentation on Christmas policing.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Hear me?
Garcia Logan from NCN News. My question is for our traffic chief. You spoke about the traffic situation on the East Coast and infrastructural works going on. Can you confirm this third lane traffic? Is it on? Is it off? Because one time it's on, the other time it's off. This is just from observation, so I just need some clarity. Thank you.
Thank you. Very important observation. It's on. This is not like blackout. We don't have on and off. It's on. It's on with safety at the core. Commissioner has led an analysis and ensured whatever is prevailing, it prevails to the benefit of the road using public. We're supervising it directly. It's on.
Logan, it's important for us to have the third lane. You know, vehicles are coming in every month, and it's overwhelming what we have. And Guyanese has a culture, they don't walk or pull ride, and so all the vehicles will have to move to point A to point B. And so, based on our analysis, we found the peak season, and that's the East Bank and the East Coast. And so we had to put a third lane in place, but I know why you asked the question after the accident. The third lane now will be supervised by police right through. You have roving police and motorcycle, you have static police, and then you have police with brown clothes will be out there, so there shouldn't be any other problem.
Any other questions?
We want to say thank you for your time, and here is on behalf of the Ghana Police Force, wishing you all a safe and a very Merry Christmas.
Before the media go, just before the media go, for the media, you are our dear friends and you are to communicate to the public what we are saying. We have a lot of activities, social activities that is, and so we are going to invite you at every activity we have. When the commanders would have left here, the commanders has between now and Tuesday to do the presentation to the public. Whatever they do, the Christmas policing starts tomorrow within Guyana, I mean all the regions. And so for the media, if you pass and you're not seeing enhanced police in any region, the commissioner must know, and he must know almost immediately. Thank you. That's it. All right. Can we?